Good evening. Good evening. We are back. The Big Daddy Show. Mr. John Young, thank you so very much. And I want to thank all the sponsors as always. You guys have been great through this whole thing. Everybody, you saw the sponsors before, you'll see them after. Utilize each and every one of them. And the gentleman that follows us, Mr. Ben Stowe, use NLFX every day of the week. Amazing. But tonight, I have the honor of having on this show a man who I admire, who has been a mentor to me, whether he knows it or not, and whose family I absolutely adore more than anyone. It is my honor to introduce to you from JLK Events in South Carolina, Mr. Jamie Bodie.
Hello,
Jamie,
Big Daddy.
welcome, my brother. How are you?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. We're slowing down just a little bit here in the South. Things are starting to heat up a little bit, and looking forward to a little bit of a break.
Awesome. Well, you've seen the show. We're going to talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But one of the things we want to talk about is your speaking engagement at the McKee show, June 24th to the 27th in Chicago. You will be on. You are the second speaker out of the gate on Wednesday morning, right after our dear friend. And you are going to be talking about a number of different things. But just tell everybody that of the two or three people that in this world that don't know who you are, tell us about you guys. Tell us about JLK Events.
All right. A little bit about JLK. We've been full-time in the lighting and DJ world for about 12 or 13 years. I've been doing this as far as the DJing side of it. I started off DJing. I've been doing that for about 30 years. So we just keep getting after it and finding new ways to do new things. Right now, my company probably does more lighting than we do DJ work. That's more readily available for us. We tend to make outdoor spaces like the one behind me. I mean, not the water, but an outdoor space, and we take and create an area where people can have an outdoor party, and that happens a lot here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And also, your more production, lighting, everything else. I got a question. What drives you in this end of the business that you do under JLK?
Probably what drives me is one of my favorite sayings is that good enough isn't. Because automatically when somebody looks at something and says that's good enough, they're readily admitting that there's something wrong, but they don't think anybody's going to notice. And it's that part. I love the building the business part of it. I love the challenge of doing new things and doing things that the first time I look at them, I go, we can't do that. And then I come back around and I look at it a different way and look at it a different way. So kind of for me, it's that challenge of just making things better.
Oh, I love that. Good enough isn't. That's awesome. So it's you and your wife, Liz, that run the company, and you've got Gary. Gary's been with you guys for a while, right? Gary Luca?
Long time. Yeah.
Good man. Good man. Good man. And everything you do, all the reviews, everything else. I've been down to the area where you are. Ooh, you never know. Big Daddy may move down there soon. But let's do 3 lessons or takeaways before we get into the McKee. 3 lessons or takeaways that you can share with these folks, that just 3 takeaways that they can implement whenever.
Well, I mean, the 3 takeaways, I mean, the first of them I've already mentioned, just good enough isn't. When you back up from your gear, you back up from any job that you do and you see, that could be better, but it's good enough. As soon as you tell yourself it's good enough, you are readily admitting that there's a problem. My second takeaway would be find your motivation, and whatever that is and whatever works for you, whether it's the Big Daddy style of motivation, or anybody that follows me on Facebook knows that I post something inspirational, motivational, pretty much 5 days a week at least. Find your motivation and hold on to that. And the third would be to surround yourself with people who are better than you are. Uh, uh, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. That's so true. You don't have to be the dumbest person in the room either. I'm not saying that, but
Hmm.
find people that motivate you, that get your juices flowing, that you want to do what they're doing and they're willing to teach you how to do it, and tuck that pride away and just make it happen.
Love it. Love it. Um, so let's go into McKee. You've
All
never
right.
spoken. You've never spoken in Chicago. Am I correct?
Nope.
You've never. Nope. So this is your introduction performance at McKee, and you will be speaking about Dave Ramsey, if I'm correct.
So I will be speaking about the title of my presentation is Money Matters, Mastering Your Financial Fate.
Ooh,
And a lot of it does center around Dave's principles and what they have done for myself, my wife, my kids, and just hopefully providing some, again, inspiration and motivation to people to realize that this isn't that difficult to do. It takes a lot of discipline, but the fundamentals are relatively simple.
and it's going to be sort of make sure you take notes and make sure and of course, um, and you tell us your experience with Dave Ramsey, because I know you've been with it for a while and you've been teaching it a while, but you also started out as a pupil, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, I did. And I'll give a little bit of background on us here.
Shoot.
In January of 2008, uh, my wife and I realized that we were in some pretty deep financial trouble. We managed to hold on somewhat to one another for the next 6 months, although some of the times that we were holding on to one another, we were just trying to get a better grip so we could get more leverage into the punch. Uh, but we did hold on till June of 2008, and that's when we were introduced to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. And one thing that always comes to my mind when I think about starting Financial Peace, I told my wife before we went to the first class, if this guy makes me feel bad, I am never coming back. I'm done. It's over. And we left there with a renewed sense of hope and a feeling like we could do this.
Like
So
it.
that's the start of what we did. And since then, we've just accomplished so much. We paid off $100,000 worth of debt in 24 months from after we started in June, uh, and we've kept going from there. I live in a paid off house. I don't want to give my whole presentation away here, but uh, it was really a game changer for us. It helped our marriage so much because I mean the biggest reason one of the biggest reasons, and I believe the biggest reason for divorce in America today is money fights and money problems. And if you have money problems, you're going to have money fights. They just go hand in hand. So we've come a long way. There's been some things along the way that helped us. There's been some things along the way that hurt us. But if you come to McKee, I promise I'll tell you our entire story, as I like to refer to it, in a pants down way, where I just show you everything. I'll tell you everything about us. I'm love to talk to people about finances and helping them out. So
I want you to share one more thing for me.
sure.
We met a bunch of years ago, and folks out there, this man, I know he thinks I'm nuts. I call him at least once a week to tell him I love him and his family. And if I don't call his wife first, I'm in trouble. If I don't call Liz first, I get yelled at, and so does he. But the story of from night was it 1998?
1998, July 24th.
1998. I want you to please, as much as you want or as little as you want, share that, because that, my friends, what he's going to tell you in a couple of seconds is probably one of the most inspirational, motivational things I've ever heard. And hit it, my brother.
Well, it was a crazy day. I was flying a light aircraft, not an ultralight aircraft, but a light aircraft, experimental category, called a gyroplane. July 24th, 1998. I was at a fly-in. Uh, my wife Liz was with me. She wasn't my wife at the time. We had our dogs with us, and I was tired of being on the ground. I mean, I wanted to go flying with somebody, so I found a guy with a two-seat aircraft, and I said, "Hey, will you take me up?" And he said, "Yeah, let's log 30 minutes of instruction." I was still a student pilot at that point, and well, we took off, and everything was fine. We flew over to where the training area was supposed to be, and he decided that he wanted to set up for an off-field landing. And I know that sounds crazy to everybody, but at the point that it happened, it was not crazy. It was a pretty simple thing to do that should have just been easy. And when we started setting up for that landing, we were unable to control or arrest the descent of the aircraft, and we crashed. I spent 56 days in the hospital. I broke my back in two places, my pelvis in two places. I dislocated my right knee, broke my left arm, and had a really bad concussion. So it was really a tough time for us. Uh, but that being said, it was also, I mean, July 24th, 1998, worst day of my life for sure. July
Mhm.
24th, 1998, best day of my life for sure. In that, it was a turning point, not necessarily financially for us, but it was a turning point for myself as a person, in cementing the relationship that I have now with my wife. We've been married 24 years. It was a good day. There were a lot of good things that came out of a bad thing, and that might be one of my other points. It's always dark, but the sun rises the next morning, and that was definitely a dark day, but it was definitely also a sunrise.
I, when I first heard it, I was speechless, and now I'm just ready to cry. But the motivation, the inspiration, and everything that you got from that, with your relationship with Liz, and just relationship with life and everything, my friends out there, understand that's we're all going to go through something, and how you handle that something that is going to make you a better person, a better whatever. And what you just heard, if that doesn't make you a better person by just listening to that and make you want to go, okay, it's time to just get up off my behind and let's do something, then there's something wrong with you. But from then on, you have amazing kids. And I know they think I'm a pain in the neck because I call them for their birthdays too. They already know that. And but you know what, my friends, this is what life is. This is what life is, and what Jamie's going to be talking about at McKee, not giving away any more, is all about life, not just financial. It's just not just financial, great stuff, but life. How do you handle this? If you get so far down, how do you handle the next step? That's what it's going to all be about. And it's just watching this man's family is just amazing, all the great things that they're doing. And we got to the three lessons, we got to the takeaway, but we talked about what drives you. But there's one other word that we use a lot, that you and I use a lot: passion. What is your biggest passion, not only in the business end of life, but in the personal end of life? What is your passion that makes you get up every morning and go, okay, let's do this?
Yeah, actually, it's going to sound a little bit cheesy, but it's true. My passion is being. There's a couple of them. One is being a better me than I was yesterday, both personally and professionally. Uh, the second is I love to help people. I don't have any secrets. I don't. If I know something good, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell everybody that I possibly can. my competitors and competitors here in my market, I love every one of them. I mean, I don't hold anything back. I don't hide anything from them. I don't think that they're evil people because they happen to be in the same field that I'm in. And I just like to help people. And something that's become a passion pretty recently, and it actually developed out of COVID. I was so tired during COVID of everybody, and I'm still tired to this day of the same thing because it's still happening somewhat, but it was bad during COVID. Everybody was fighting about everything. You know, you should wear a mask, you shouldn't wear a mask, I shouldn't, whatever it was. And I was just down, and I was like, another old saying came to me, and it's be the change you want to see in the world. And that was when I started posting something inspirational every day. That was when I went, okay, if I want to see a change and I want to see people doing different things, then let me lead and start doing that myself. And I get a lot of inspiration from a great quote. I do. It's just the way that God wired me. But I just started sharing some of that every day. And if something strikes me as great, I grab it off the internet and I steal it and I post it.
That is, yeah. Listen, folks, listen to every word this man says. But one of the things, and you were talking about competition, and I say this to everybody, you have no competition because you are you and they're them. The only competition you have, as you said, and one of the things you said, be better than you were the day before. And as far as events go, you got to give it 110% no matter what. And what's going to separate the men from the boys or you from your competition is what do you do differently, or what makes them want to call you first?
Right.
And everything you just said is what will make them call JLK first, or whatever, Gary, anybody on your team. That's what everybody needs to understand. And again, going back to McKee, what Jamie's going to be talking about at McKee is not just about the financial part of it. It's about life itself. And I am so looking forward to that. So looking forward to that. But how can these folks get a hold of you, socials or whatever else?
Well, I mean,
Personally,
I'm a little bit older, so you're going to find me more on Facebook than you are on Instagram. I don't do a whole lot on Instagram on a personal level. My company does, but on a personal level, I don't do a whole lot on Instagram. But you can definitely find me on Facebook. If you look up Jamie Bodie on Facebook, and if you are watching this show and you're a DJ and we have 100 friends in common, you've got the right one. Or if it's a short, fat, bald guy, you got the right one. I mean, it's not that hard. But yeah, you can definitely hook me up. For everybody coming to McKee, I'll be sharing my email address and phone number and everything. And if you're watching this and you want to reach out to me and you can't find me, ask Big Daddy. He'll get you hooked up with me.
absolutely.
Definitely want to help people, anybody that I can. And that's been our motto. That was one of the things that Liz and I said when we started going through all this and we got our feet under us. We decided that we were going to help everybody that we possibly could get out of the position that we had worked ourselves into. Because I'm not preaching from the top of the mountain, bro. I've been through the valley. I climbed up the mountain. I struggled the entire way. We did it all. I've been in all the places, and we said, hey, if we can help somebody else do this, we're going to. And that's every time that I've spoken at any conference that I've spoken at, and it's been a good many, it is to help somebody. So if I can help one person turn their financial life around, that's great. I mean, I would go to conferences and somebody would walk up to me and say, hey, you really inspired me. And my wife and I, we changed and we're doing this and we've gotten all this done. And I mean, the list of names that I've been able to help is long and impressive. I'll leave the joke out of that I want to put in there, but it really is. I mean, And we've just been blessed. And so when I get blessed, I tend to try to bless other people.
And my friend, you are a blessing. You and Liz are such a blessing to me on a personal and professional level. I could shout it from the mountaintops. And getting to hang out with you and the family in Hilton Head a couple of years ago, and just chatting with you guys on a daily or weekly basis, whatever it is. My friends, if you haven't gotten your tickets for McKee, what are you waiting for? Because the education is going to be amazing. And on Wednesday morning, we open with Mike Walter. And right after that, Mike Walter's your opener. How about that, my brother? Mike Walter is your opening act, baby. Hello. And then you got amazing, inspirational, motivational stuff from Mr. Jamie Bodie.
Well, I mean, hey, you know, Big Daddy, I'm really blessed to be in that position with Mike in front of me, because at least I know I'll start out with a full room. Mike is definitely one of the most gifted and talented speakers I've ever seen, and I look forward to listening to him speak. I could just listen to the man read a book. He's so good. But yeah, at least I'll start with a full room, and hey, we're gonna have a good time. I'm definitely gonna have a good time. This is fun. We've got some fun stuff in here. We've got some serious stuff in here. But you know, super proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and I want people to take it as motivational, and not that I'm saying, hey, look at me and look at what I've done. What I'm really saying, and what I'm gonna say, is if some dumb redneck from South Carolina can do it, certainly you can too. And you know, we just want to help people in that aspect. So the more people that I can help, the better I feel, man.
Thank you, my friend. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for you. I thank you for who you are, not only to me, but to a whole heck of a lot of people out there. And there's two things that you brought up before, and I got to say them again. Good enough isn't, and find your motivation. My friends, please, if you haven't bought your tickets for McKee yet, what are you waiting for? We got a lot of great things going on. And Wednesday morning, we got one of the best right here, and one of my dearest friends in the world. I can't thank you enough, Jamie. To all my sponsors, thank you to everybody out there listening. Great. Jamie, you rock. Thank you all very much. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. And
2 weeks, let's go, baby.
2 weeks, baby. And guess what? You may be on the air with me again. We're gonna get a whole bunch of people and start throwing meatballs around and have fun on John Young's show. Come on, what are you kidding? But thank you guys. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Jamie, thank you, baby. Good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.